Very welcome to this session. We are now live, and this session is an introductory session to MS Project. I like to do introductory sessions through examples, and I'm going to take a project which is shown behind me. It's a training project. That training project, it's for everyone. It's in fact a company that implemented a new software, a CRM software, and they have now people from 3 different locations to train. So they centralize them to one place, and we have to organize that training. So we will manage that training as a project. So we will define what has to be done, then we will plan it, and of course, after that, there will be an execution and realization. The idea here is that anybody that would like to learn MS Project can follow this module. Behind me, I have the already finished project to the point to which we will arrive, maybe not in this session, but in some further sessions. I will have several of those sessions in this subject. Like that, you should be able to learn how you define a project with MS Project, up to tracking the project, see how it evolves. So this project, it is at the base a 1-week training for about 50 people. After that, the people are trained from 3 different subsidiaries in France. One is Lyon, the second one is Marseille, and the third one is in the north, it's Lille. So people will come to Paris, to a central location, and be trained by external consultants. So of course, we have to organize this, but we also want to calculate the costs. And we are going to see that MS Project is really helpful for us to do those things. A CRM is the customer relation management system. It is an example that I lived. I experienced this for some of my customers, and this involves marketing, sales, support people, and a lot of administration people. So it's not uncommon to have like that 50 people gathered for a training for 1 week. The overall cost of this project is around 80 to 90,000 euros for 1 week of training, followed by 3 weeks by each location 1 week of follow-up with consultants. I'm Christian from Vision 6D, and I'm really happy to be here with you and to exchange on those knowledges. So as you can see on top of me, there is the part of MS Project which is the timeline. The timeline is really convenient. It's those diagrams that we see on top of my head, where you can really define well the different stages of the project. We currently see the part which is initiation, where we define what we want to have in the project, followed by the planning in terms of resources, in terms of financial budget also, and after that comes the execution. In the execution, we need to do some coordination into that project, and then after there is really the week of training, followed by 3 weeks where the consultants, they will go into the companies, the subsidiaries, to help people directly when they are working with that new software. So you see behind my back, there is the part which is the Gantt chart. Beside the Gantt chart, you see a lot of tables. It's where we have the tasks. It's where we define all the different tasks. The idea now is to start with this from scratch and to give you the opportunity to build it from scratch with me. So any questions are welcome. And I'm now going to switch here. And you should be able to see me from near. So I should stand like that, and I will try not to forget to remove me when I'm in front of the screen. So what you see here is the table that we will find at the end of the project. And you see that there is a column here with the costs. This is something that will interest us. I will take a bit of time to describe you now the timeline. And for this, I'm going to reduce here the definition of the tasks. You see that the timeline is really a synthetic way to present the information. So first, we have the initiation of the project, which is followed by a go, no-go decision. It's at the point where we know more or less what will be the budget. We know what we do in this project. So can we afford the project? Can't we? Is it wise to do it? These are the components of a go, no-go decision. So you will see here it is set to be by March 8th of this year. After that, we will have a period of time, which is now described here in yellow, when we do the planning of everything. It's the organizational part. And after here, in the middle, you see there will be that technical training. The training really happens. It's when the people will be on site and will do the work. And after that, you see the first situation in Lyon. It's where the consultant will go, then the one in Marseille, and there is one that we don't see really well here. I will shortly change the color, make it a bit outstanding with red color. So this is a synthetic way. You see that I didn't need to enter into the details of what happens when. How much does it cost this part? I gave you a synthetic overview of the project. What I can add to this, it's that this sample here that I have with the calculation came up to 92,000 euros. So once I've done that, I can now remove maybe this part here. And of course that I've jumped directly into msproject, but we will see all this starting from scratch, so don't be afraid. And now if I select into the view here, I can take away the timeline. Like that, we have way more space to look at the tasks we have here that are here defined. So I have a lot of tasks that are defined. I won't enter now in the details of all of them, but what I propose is that from now on, I simply go to the backlog of msproject and I will start a blank project. You see that you can choose different types of projects here, but in our case, we will start with a blank project. So everything has been now removed. You see, of course, that the other file was saved, but I'm starting from scratch. I go back again to the back office because there are some options that I would like you to pay attention to. First of all, here,
into the display, you see that my system is defined to work in Swiss francs, and I want to change it to a currency which is the euro. Once I've done that, we will go into schedule here, and into schedule there is one option that is really important. It's the number of hours per day. Pay attention to this, because it might be in some systems or some country that there are 7 hours per day, 35 hours a week. If you don't pay attention now and you would like to work in another number of hours, you do your project and then you change the hours, you will get difficulties. It's where you will get days with decimal parts, and from then on, it's really difficult to come back. My advice is, if you forgot to do this, there are highly chances that you are better to start off completely your project from scratch. So this needs really to be checked. And if you want to work with 35 hours a week and 7 hours a day, it's now to change it. Of course, I recommend you to do at the same time with your system the same things as I'm doing. So in that project, we will follow a predictive way to define the project, because it's the easiest way to learn MS Project. We will start with the first step, which is initiation. Initiation, you find it in any project. It's the moment when you define what you have to do. So here I will define the project. We might be writing a charter. Is a document in which we will see who is the project manager, what is the budget, the main schedule, and it's really global. And after that, we need to make a decision, which is the go, no-go decision. So these are already here defined as tasks into MS Project. Now I will say that to define the project, I'm inserting a duration here. You see, I define that 3 days would be something that I need in order to be able to define that project. So after that, here, I will need 2 days to write the charter. And you see, we already have now bars that come to illustrate the Gantt chart. And the decision, go, no go, is in the end a decision. It's something that will define with a duration of 0 day. In MS Project, when you do that, it considers that this task is a milestone. So by doing this, by defining it as a 0 day duration task, you see that MS Project has set this as a small diamond you see here. I will just now reduce the size I'm occupying on your screen. Like that, I'm still with you, but you will be able to see more of the screen. You see that we have the timeline that has come up here, since we defined that we wanted to start from scratch. So everything was reset and restarted. So we've defined 3 tasks. Those 3 tasks that we see here, they are part of that stage, which is initiation. So what I will do is that I will select them here. you see, and I will say that they are part of initiation. For that, I go to tasks, and within tasks, there is a part here, which is a group, which is called schedule. And here inside, I will say that those 3 tasks are part of initiation. And for that, I'm going to use identation. And like that, they will become a subtask of initiation. So it's simple. I simply clicked on it. The result, you see that on the tasks which are in the Gantt chart, nothing changed. You see that here also nothing changed, apart that initiation now has something that has come in and has a start and an end date, where we still don't have any start and end date for the different tasks. So once we've done that, what I want to say is that we are defining tasks here in a mode which is manually scheduled. So I will leave it as such for the moment, but be aware that there is the auto schedule mode. All the tasks are defined with manual tasks, because here down you see that we've defined that all new tasks will be manually scheduled. So this is msproject that defined it like that. But if you go into the options, you can change that default behavior. We could also change it here, but I'm not going to do this for the moment. Now, the next thing that we want to do, it's first of all to see what is the task. So if I double click on a task, I have task information with a lot of information. I have, of course, the name of the task. I have the duration of the task. I can see whether the task has advanced or not, and many other things, among which you see again whether it's manually or auto scheduled. There is also a start date and a finish date. There are many other possibilities. We'll go through them in a moment. For the moment, I'm just showing you the possibilities about a task. So now, what we want is to plan. We are in this project, we define the project, and after we write a document. So I said after. So it means that the task number 3 is going to follow the task number 2. And to do that, to show it to msproject, I have here a column in which are defined the predecessors. The predecessors here, I'm going to say that the predecessor of task 3 is the task before, is the task 2. So to do that, I simply go on the task and I select which is its predecessor. I could select several of them. In my case, there is just one. So I've done that, and you see that it has come one after the other one onto the Gantt part. But you see also that we have now start and end dates for each of those tasks. So with that, we've defined a predecessor to this task. So now let's admit that the decision to go, no go, for this, we need to write the charter. So we need to have finished the charter before we can make that decision. So I'm going to say here that the predecessor is the task number 3. And I could say this directly by keying the number 3 on the line. Like that, you see I have here my first task, the second one, and I have here the diamond that shows to me a milestone, which is the decision go, no go. With that, I have my project here, and you see that there is a scene line For me, it's a green color. This is msproject showing me the actual date. Since I haven't specified anything as actual date, msproject is taking today as that current date. msproject has also taken today as the start of the project. So we are planning this project today. I propose that we set it to the 1st of March, that the project starts on the 1st of March. To do that, I go into project, and you see that I can now move the project here. So I'm clicking on move, and it's a calendar that will open, and I can simply say when is the start date of that project. Tuesday, the 1st of March is a good date, but it could be also, let's say, the 28th of February. So I'm going to put it the 28th of February. I'm saying okay, and you see that certain things have moved accordingly to what I expected, but the date of the decision is strange because it's before that we write the charter. So there is something that didn't work really properly here inside. So I'm going to come back with a Control Z as we were before. And I'm going now to change and to switch this to auto-scheduled. I'm pulling down to make all of them auto-scheduled, you see, and you notice that the color has changed. When we have that darker blue here, it means that we are in auto mode. That blue, you see it also here for the task mode here in front. So I'm going back to move the project, and I'm going now to move it to the 28th of February. And we see that everything moved really smoothly. So what it means that when you are in automatic mode, it's easier for msproject to move things. When you have tasks that are defined as manually set tasks, msproject avoids to move them because you defined manually those start date and end date. So msproject thinks he's right that you should move those tasks. So in this situation, it was better to have automatic tasks, but there are situations where it's better to have manually set tasks. For example, when you have something where although you are moving all tasks around, that specific task cannot change its date, it's better to have it set as manual. So we've defined this, and let's now give a look at the planning stage. At the planning stage, I will determine the scope of the project. It means that I really enter into the details of the project. I will plan resources, and the resources that I will plan are, of course, human resources. There are also material resources. Think of the rooms we will need for the training, for example, and there will also be financial resources that we will need to have, because, for example, we will need to pay the lodging for the people. we will have to pay the travel expenses and all that. So these are things that we need to define. So you see one thing, at the end, I will here also in the planning determine a budget that is more specific than the one we defined in the beginning. So you see that among the resources here, there are three tasks that are part of planned resources: human, material, and financial resources. I will do the same thing as what I did before. I go back to task and I will ident them to show that they are subtasks of plan resources. So this is now entered. And what I would like to do also, you see here, I will say that all those tasks that we've defined here, they are part of the planning part. So once again, you see that I will ident all that under planning. So to determine the scope, I will say that I need 5 days to do that. And to plan the resources and the different things, we'll say that it is a 3-day work, 3 days, 3 days. And msproject is telling me that I could simply take the lower right corner and avoid repeating unuseful tasks. I'm saying, okay, I understood it. And to determine the budget, let's say that we need 2 days for this. So once again, you see that all the tasks that we have, they are now defined in manual mode. With this in manual mode, you already know that we can easily switch them to automatic mode. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say that it is auto-scheduled. I could do the 3 of them, but I just want to show you one here through the information mode, that I can come and say that it is auto-scheduled. You see, like that, you have the complementary part. And now I'm going simply to say for the others that they are all in manual mode. So we have all those tasks now that are also in manual mode. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and there is one thing I forgot. The decision here up, go, no go. You see that once we've written the charter, we can make a decision. I agree with this. This is one way to see it. What I will propose is that we insert a certain delay, meaning that we write the charter and maybe it's not the day when we finish the charter that we can make a decision. It will be 2 or 3 days after. So if you agree with me, I will say it's 2 days after. So how do I say that? For this, I go into the task and into the predecessor. You see, it's write the charter. We have the ID of the predecessor, which is number 3, the name of that task, which is write the charter, and a relation type. It's here finish to start. It means that we need to finish write the charter before to start the decision. You can have several types of relations. I'm already showing to you because I know, like me, you are curious, and we'll come later on onto that. Now, what I'm interested in is the lag that we can set. It means that what I want to do is to give 3 days of lag. And for this, it's really simple. I come here inside and I write 3 days. 3D is enough. I say now OK, and we'll see in the Gantt chart what happens. And you see that we have our milestone that has been moved by 3 days. The gray columns in the Gantt chart are the weekends, and they are what we call non-working days. You could have days of the week that are non-working days. For example, there are maybe some companies that don't work on Friday. For example, in France, there are companies that work 35 hours a day, and they try to make their 35 hours over the 4 first days of the week. Like that, people have one day off or a Friday off. This is one way to see it. So you could change what we call the calendar. You could change the calendar of your company. You could change the calendar of this project. Calendars, I'm not going to enter into the subject, but if you are interested or later on, be aware that there is already a video from Christian Alt about calendars. You simply Google this and you will find that information. So after that, we've set here a first delay. And you see that we have the planning here, the planning part. So now what I'm going to say is that the planning can start once the decision has been taken. So the predecessor of planning will be decision go, no go. So we see now that everything has been smoothly moved to follow the 9th of March when there is the date for the decision. Once again, I'm pretty sure that once the decision is taken, it's not the next morning that the project starts. So I'm going to propose you maybe to add 1 week delay here. So I'm doing this by adding 5D, 5 days. I'm saying okay, and here we have the schedule of our project. With this now, what I want to do, you see that we have determined scope that will take us 1 week. And after that, I have plan resources. So I'm going to say that plan resources, they are tasks which are sequential. It's not always like that, but it's to show you how we can easily define successors from one task to the other one. So I'm going to select those 3 tasks, and now I'm coming here up into the links, and I can simply link the selected tasks, and we'll see what happens. They've become one after the other one. So like that, we've seen this that is proposed in that way. Nevertheless, there is one thing. You see that we don't have anything with determine scope. So I could come here on plan resources and say that the predecessor is the number 7. Like that, you see that I start to have things moving on. My project starts to take a shape. And determine budget, I'm also going to say that it follows the task plan resources. So I'm going to try to key in 8. We'll see what happens. And it came exactly to follow all those things. So till now, we've defined tasks. We managed to schedule them. We've seen auto mode. We've seen the project. After that, I will now enter in what I call the execution of the project. So in the execution of the project, you see that it starts again to propose me manual mode. I'm going to change that one to auto scheduled, and I'm going to change here down that all next tasks will be auto scheduled. With this now, I have the execution, and in the execution there is coordination that must be done with the different offices. There is also a part which is preparation. when you think of documentation that must be prepared, you must make sure that the room that will receive the people is ready. So all this is part of coordination and preparation. After that, we will have the training itself. So in order to have the training, we will see that people will first to travel. Once they travel, they will need to have hotels. So we are going to take care of that. Then they will have meals. They will have lunches. And there will be coffee breaks. Okay, so these are the general things that are part of the training. And of course, there is the technical training itself. What we really know is that the training, the technical training, is going to last 5 days. So this, we know it for sure. What we know also, and I'm going up backwards, it's that the coffee breaks, they will have them during the 5 days. It's not that they are going to have a 5-day coffee break, but the duration through which they will need to have coffee breaks are 5 days. I will do the same with the lunch. And once again, although I'm going up backwards, msproject is telling me that I could do it in a faster way, you see. So meals and hotels, I'm going to say it's 5 days. But the hotels, there is a small trick. It's just that they are arriving the day before, so they need to stay one more night. So I will say it's 6 days. Travel, it's 1 day, yes. And all this is part of the training. So I'm sure you already know that here it's not really clear. You would like already to do some identification. You are absolutely right. It's what we are going to do right now. I'm going to ident all that, and like that I can say all those elements, they are part of the really training week. And here up, I'm leaving coordination and preparation as being also part of execution, you see. And I will say coordination, I will set this to 3 days. And preparation, I will set this to 2 days. I need to make sure that don't mess around. So we have this, we have the 2 days of the preparation, we have all that is now set. So, and this is the execution. And now there is one part which is also part of the execution. If you remember, there will be on-site assistance. After the training, each location will have about 1 week of on-site assistance. So I will put down Lyon, Marseille, and Lille. And the 3 of those tasks, they are subtasks of on-site assistance, and they will all be for a duration of 5 days. I will enter the duration in another way here that you see that you can also do it from the information fields. And the last one here, 5 days. So with that, we have all the elements that we need. We have all the tasks, and I'm going to add here down a closing phase where it's, for example, bill, no, last payment. Okay, so last payment is also a subtask of closing. So we have all those tasks that are now defined like that, and we see we find our different stages of the project. So now if I come here up on initiation, you see that we have a triangle, and if I click on it, oh, everything disappeared. So there is something that is not so okay, so I will restitute them. Oh, I see. Planning, you see here, should be at the same level as initiation. So I'm coming here and moving it up one level. So I'm moving it up here, and you see that many of the other tasks moved also one level up. But if now I'm clicking that time on planning to see what happens, everything after planning disappears, which is not exactly correct. And if I do the check on initiation here, there is just initiation. So this is fine. It's an improvement that we find, but it means that here I need to bring execution one level up too. So I'm doing this. Now I check on planning. Yeah, planning is good. Oh, I got the same mistake here down with closing. That should also come one, maybe two levels up. Yes, like that. So if now I select execution, I see closing and initiation. So we have now here what we commonly find in any project that follows the predictive method. It's those four big stages, which are initiation, planning, execution, and closing. So with that, you can see how this is working, how it's evolving into the project. And now what I'm going to do, of course, it's to reopen those things and to propose you my cursor is a bit big to be precise. So what we need is to schedule those tasks here. So the first thing that I'm going to do, because you see that we haven't scheduled them at all, so I'm going to reduce this here a bit, like that we have now more space for what we want to show. And here I'm going to say that those tasks, what is the most important task is when will the training be set? What's the date of the training? So I'm coming here and I'm going to say that, okay, let's admit here up on top of me, we see that we are ready by mid-April. Let's say that our training could start in May, for example. So I'm coming to May and I'm going to say it will start the 2nd of May. So we saw that there was a change, but it's only the technical training that has moved somewhere. I'm guessing if I follow here down, you see it has moved to the dates where the training will take place. So you see that I'm using the cursor here down to move the project, and I will just disappear for a few moments, but you get my voice, to show you that you have a zoom possibility here down. So I can zoom in, extend everything, or reduce like that. I see everything on the project. Now I will show you another way to do this. If you want to see the entire project, you go into View and in view there is a button entitled Entire Project. So I click on this, and with that, the window span that I have covers the complete project. So now we are going to enter into a few elements here. So we've seen that we can already set some of the relations. What I want to say is that all the elements that are here comporting that are part of the training, like the travel, hotel, meals, lunch, coffee breaks, they need to be at the same time as the training. So what I'm going to say is that the training is the task number 23, and I'm going to make all those tasks here start at the same time as the technical training. For this, let's take, for example, the coffee breaks here, and I'm going to say that they will start at the same time as the task 23. You see what happens? It's that we have the training and you will get the coffee breaks the week after. So there is something here that is not really okay. So of course that the difficulty comes from the predecessor is, excuse me, I'm on the wrong task, coffee break. So the predecessors is correct, is the technical training, but the relation cannot be finished to start. It has to start at the same time. And for that, you see here inside, we have start to start. Okay, so we are going to take it, and you see that it happens really well. All that task came and was the same here. So once I've done this, I can maybe here come and say, oh, all those other tasks here, they have exactly the same situation. And I've set them, they will all start with the technical training. So this is really fine. You see that we've done this part. Now, there is one point. And for this, I'm coming back to you. Like that, you can see me. So for this, there is one point. I'm moving this here. It's the hotel. We said people travel one day before, so they should also be able here to go to the hotel one day before. So the reason is that we can't have exactly the same relation. So it can start at the same time, but it should start one day before. So we could here with the lag say one day. Okay, some are already saying, oh yeah, one day. Okay, it's good, but it's in the wrong direction. So it's simply that we have to give here inside into hotel a negative delay. For this, I'm going to say it's minus one day, and we'll see what happens. And we see here clearly we have the hotel that starts one day before. So what we see, it's really strange, but it's MS Project. MS Project considers that your tasks, they cannot apply on non-working days. So if you want this to start one day before, for MS Project, it's going to say, oh, but the day before is a Sunday, is a non-working day, I can't. Oh, before it's a Saturday, non-working day, I can't. So it's going to put it to the first working day before. So it's the Friday. Of course, this does not correspond to our situation. So for that, we need to force a bit MS Project by telling him that we want the start day for this to be Sunday 1st. Okay? And we get here a warning because we have a calendar that says that Sunday is a non-working day. Yes, they are right, it's a non-working day, but we are going to make that Sunday a working day. Okay, so like that, we have the schedule now, where you see that we have relations which are 23, which is the task SS to notify us that it's a start to start relation. And here we have really a special one, which is a 23SS minus 1 day, which is here for the hotel. So with that, we have this part here of the schedule that is really, really well set. So now what about coordination? And what about preparation? You know how it goes with trainings. You need to prepare a room. You need to prepare, for example, documentations and a lot of things and marketing material that you want to provide to the people. So all this, you need to do it before. So what I would suggest is that the preparation is done the week before, but not just the Friday, because often in the trainings that I prepare, if you do this, you can be sure that on Friday something is missing and you won't get it working on Monday morning when the course is supposed to start. So those 2 days, I would like them to be in the middle of the preceding week. So once again, I'm going to say that the task is the training itself with 23 SS, and I could say, try to say minus what, 2 days. Let's try it like that and see what happens. And you see that minus 2 days, since the task is today, we have it that really comes up to the Friday. So it could work. So I'm proposing you that we change those minus 2 days to maybe minus 4 days. Like that, I'm more quiet. If anything happens, I know that everything is set, is ready. We still have 2 days as a reserve in case that something didn't arrive, that we can do something. So on my planning, I've set this. And coordination, I'm going to say that it has to be done the same as preparation. So the coordination, or let's say that it has to be done before preparation. So I'm going to give it here. So it depends on preparation, which is task number 16. And if I just put it like that, it takes the default settings. And I'm going to say that this is another kind of relation that I could start here. Instead to be start to start, finish to finish, we could try start to finish, a reverse relation. Let's see. You see that when we start preparation, we should have finished coordination. So with that, you see another type of relation that we could use here, and this is really interesting. So now I'm going to do one thing here. It's to add here down the on-site assistance. So this, I can say that it will follow the training. So it's again based on the task 23 FS, and I will give it that time 3 weeks of delay. If I say 15 days, we'll see what happens. Of course, we have now the on-site assistance that is delayed by 3 weeks. Now what I'm going to do is to say that the 2 others here, they are also depending on the same relation. So I'm going to pull it down here. But here I'm going to change the delay. I'm going to say 35 days, and that one I'm going to say 55 days. So we are a bit lost. We don't see all the project again. So I'm still on view here up, and I'm going to see the entire project. So with that, we have now the settings of the complete project with one part, which is the closing. And of course, the closing I will do after the last intervention on site. So it depends on task 28. It's a forward start, and I will give a 2-week delay. Like that, we can finish. We can analyze maybe a bit the situation, get some feedbacks before we really close that project. So once again, we see the entire project. We have all that is defined. Maybe here I would like to change a bit the color that we see those different interventions on sites. And I will here put some red, and maybe here some orange. I've seen that something came here. I will delete this. So like that, you see the different steps that we have into this project. You could see how we've established relations in all that, and you can now see how we structured the project, the approach we had to define the different tasks, the way we define the relations. We've set different type of relations, and we've set also delays into those tasks. With this, I'm at the end of what I want to show you into this part, into this session. There will be the next session where we will assign resources to those different tasks. So this project is part of a more global project, which is the CRM project, which is an experience I did with some companies. This is, if you want, a sub-project, which is the training part. So with that, we've set the schedule part, and we will follow with resources. It was a pleasure for me to be here with you to exchange about this, and I hope to see you soon for other modules, for other videos. For me, it's always a joy to be able to share those knowledges with you. I wish you a great time. Have a good time. Bye-bye.